Greetings, Guardians of Dominion. Zeus here with another enlightening video. Today, something big just dropped. The developers have officially revealed the full skill set of Guus, and it's unlike anything we've seen before. This isn't your typical healer. Guus brings a unique mix of healing, battlefield control, and disruption that could shake up the entire support meta. In this video, we'll break down each of his skills, explore key synergies, and ask the big question: is Guus about to become the best healer in Hero Wars Dominion era? Let's find out. If you're playing Hero Wars Alliance on Android, now's your chance to save big with Huawei's app gallery. For a limited time, you can get up to 25% off the Golden Pass and receive 15% back in Huawei Points on every purchase, every day. This special campaign runs from June 9th to July 15th, 2025, so act quickly. Just click the link in the description and download the game through App Gallery. Your game progress is completely safe. Simply link your Google or App Gallery account, and you'll pick up right where you left off. Make sure your device country settings are supported, including Austria, Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Ireland, Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Switzerland, Spain, Turkey, Ukraine, United Kingdom, and more. Don't miss these exclusive rewards. Tap the link and power up your Hero Wars Alliance journey today. In the previous video, I mentioned that Guus is a strength-based hero. On the mobile version, he's classified as a healer, and that holds true here in the Dominion era as well. But there's something interesting about his placement. Guus stands in the middle line. Now, that's already different from what we're used to. Most of our classic healers, Martha, Dorian, Aiden, Thea, are placed in the backline, where they're safer and can support from a distance. Guus, however, is more like Maya, Celeste, or Marcus, healers who stand closer to the action. This brings both advantages and drawbacks. On the plus side, Guus will take more damage early on, which means he'll generate energy faster and activate his ultimate more often. That can be a huge benefit for a support hero, especially if his ultimate brings strong healing or control. But here's the downside: being in the middle line makes him more exposed. He might get focused down or hit with area damage more often than other healers, and that could reduce his reliability in longer battles. Of course, that's just theory for now. We'll need to test him in real matches and see how well he performs in different situations. Now let's talk about something even more important, a detail in the skill descriptions that really caught my attention. Unlike his mobile version, Guus in the Dominion era doesn't mention anything about critical hits. That's a big deal. It seems like the developers deliberately removed the critical hit interaction, possibly to keep him more balanced. Because let's face it, with all his golden feather buffs and team-wide support potential, a creep-based Guus could have been dangerous, even game-breaking, in Dominion. Let's move on to the skills overview, starting with the first ability, March of the Geese. This skill immediately caught my attention. It's not just a basic heal or damage spell. It's actually a unique combination of healing, area damage, and battlefield control, all in one. Here's how it works. Once activated, the skill begins a short duration march where geese appear on the battlefield every half second. But they're not just for show. The golden geese heal a random ally, while the grey geese deal area damage to a random enemy and push them away. That pushing effect is what really stands out to me. It reminds me of Arachne's control mechanics, disrupting enemy positions and breaking up tight formations. Guus might not stun like Arachne does, but the knockback effect could open the door for powerful synergy between the two. Imagine this. Guus pushes enemies back, and Arachne follows up with her jump or control abilities, that could really throw off teams that rely on close-range combos or squishy backlines. So overall, this first skill isn't just support, it's tactical. It creates space, heals your team, and chips away at the enemy formation, all at the same time. Now let's move on to Guus' second ability, Feathers of Gold. This one is all about healing. When activated, Guus summons a wave of geese that grant golden feathers to all of his allies. If you've noticed the golden icon that appears above a hero's head, that's the mark of the golden feather. Any ally who has it will receive healing over time. The exact percentage of health restored isn't revealed yet, but it's safe to assume it scales with Guus' stats. Now here's where it gets a bit more interesting, and maybe a bit confusing. This ability also includes a passive effect. It states that during March of the Geese, the golden geese will also apply golden feathers to the allies they heal. Now personally, I find that part a little odd. This passive seems like it should belong to the first skill, since it directly modifies how March of the Geese functions. It almost feels like it was split off just for clarity, but from a gameplay logic standpoint, it might have made more sense to bundle that interaction into the first ability's description. That said, once we have full numbers, like the healing percentages, cooldowns, and synergy stats, it may all start to make more sense. For now, though, it's clear that golden feathers will be central to Guus' healing identity, and we'll need to see how consistently and effectively they trigger in battle. Now let's take a look at Guus' third skill, Guardian Goose. This ability acts like a safety net for your team. If an ally with a golden feather is about to drop below 25% health, this skill automatically triggers, restoring part of their health before they hit that critical threshold. But there's a trade-off: the golden feather disappears after this effect kicks in. So while it saves the hero from death, it also removes the ongoing healing that comes with the feather. In other words, it's a one-time emergency heal that ends the regeneration, but gives your hero a second chance to stay in the fight. What's really interesting is that the amount of health restored scales based on how much time was left on the golden feather's duration. So if there were 7 or 8 seconds remaining, you'll get a much stronger heal than if only 1 or 2 seconds were left. On mobile, the golden feather lasts for 8 seconds, and if reapplied, it stacks, but we don't yet know how it behaves in the Dominion era. Will reapplying a feather reset the timer or extend it? That detail will make a big difference in how reliable this safety mechanism actually is. Back in the mobile version, I wasn't a big fan of this skill, mainly because removing the golden feather also meant losing your critical hit bonuses. But here in the Dominion era, Guus doesn't rely on crits, which makes this ability way more valuable. In fact, I see Guardian Goose becoming extremely useful against burst-heavy heroes like Ishmael. It can delay a fatal blow just long enough to heal up, reposition, or get support from your team, turning the tide of a battle when it matters most. Now let's talk about Guus' fourth and final ability, Lay on Feathers. This violet skill changes how Guus performs his basic attacks. Instead of striking enemies, Guus now targets allies, specifically those closest to the front line and who don't already have a golden feather. Each basic attack heals the selected ally and applies a golden feather to them, which means they'll receive continuous healing and even protection through the Guardian Goose skill if needed. Now here's what I'm still wondering: are all of Guus' basic attacks permanently converted to healing after unlocking this skill? Or is it a triggered effect that lasts for a limited time or works under specific conditions? That's not clear yet, and we'll need to test it in live battles to fully understand how consistent the healing will be. Still, even without the full numbers, this skill looks incredibly valuable. It turns Guus into a non-stop support machine, healing through basic attacks, stacking golden feathers, and offering passive protection all at once. It's healing on top of healing. Now yes, we're still missing some key stats, cooldowns, healing percentages, and how reapplying feathers will work, but from what we've seen so far, Guus might seriously challenge the top healer spots in Dominion era. Depending on how reliable and frequent his healing turns out to be, we may be looking at the strongest support hero released in a long time. So, Guardians, after breaking down all 4 of Guus' skills, it's clear this hero brings something truly unique to the Dominion era. He's not your typical healer. With a mix of tactical battlefield control, timed healing effects and safety mechanics like Guardian Goose, Guus isn't just about keeping your team alive, he's about outsmarting your opponents and turning the tide of battle when it matters most. Yes, we're still waiting on some important details like healing percentages and how his golden feathers behave over time. But the foundation is already strong. If these numbers scale well, Guus could easily become one of the top contenders for best healer in the game. Now I'd love to hear from you. What do you think about Guus so far? Could he replace someone like Martha or Dorian on your team? Do you see him fitting into your current lineup? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, I read every single one of them. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives like this, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next strategy update. Until next time. Salute and friendship.